questions emerged from the storm last week, like who pays for the property damage caused by falling trees? Can you register your home for priority electric service?
We are working to find answers in this week's Ask Amy. Investigator Amy Davis joins us now. Amy, these are questions that viewers sent us.
Absolutely, and people dealing with this cleanup from those huge trees that fell in their yards and their neighborhoods everywhere. We know it can be overwhelming getting everything back together, and so that is why we're answering your questions. Lisa Carr asked, if a neighbor's tree falls on your property, on your fence, your car, your garage, she wants to know who's responsible and who pays the insurance deductible. Well, Lisa, if the tree was healthy before the storm and high winds caused that tree to fall over and damage your property, you cannot hold your neighbor liable. That was an act of God. However, if the tree was diseased or dying in poor condition before the disaster, you can hold them liable for damages. The neighbor was negligent in maintaining that tree. One viewer even told us they had copies of emails and letters where they had asked their neighbor to please cut the tree so it wouldn't be a hazard in months past. If you have that, even better. Your homeowner's insurance generally does cover this type of damage, but you could at least maybe get your neighbor to pay your deductible. Now, if your neighbor refuses to remove dead or dying branches, before a storm, you can call 311 for Houston Service Helpline. The neighbor can be fined if they refuse to do anything. So every time our area experiences these mass power outages, we do hear pleas from people who depend on electric medical devices to survive, that their electricity be restored ASAP. So Donna Pruitt, this is the next question. She said that she heard Centerpoint had a registration for people with disabilities to register and that they would try and make those areas a priority in terms of getting their power restored first. So Donna, we think what you're referring to is the Public Utility Commission. They have an application that you can fill out to get a chronic condition or critical care residential customer status. So this is mostly for customers who rely on electric medical devices to stay alive, and those who fall behind on their payments. It protects them from disconnection for a certain period of time. But the PU says in an outage like the one we have right now, being on this list certainly doesn't guarantee that your power will be restored immediately. They do say emergency service workers can access the list to see who may need immediate attention. So a good idea to get on that list, in between times, just to make sure you're on it. Yeah, absolutely. It can't hurt, but it won't mean your power won't go off. It won't mean yours will come back on first. So on click2houston.com, we're linking you to that application if you or someone you may know needs it. And on KPRC News at 4 today, I'll answer your questions about ruined and spoiled food from the fridge and what you can do if you don't have insurance to cover the cost of all of that food.
Interesting.
Yeah, so another viewer, we had several people say that their own claims or they heard of others' claims that were denied because their insurance carrier told them, oh, they don't cover damage from tornadoes. And we're like, well, that sounds crazy. So we did talk with an insurance expert who said, it's possible in very rare instances, it's not common, that somebody took out a policy for liability fire only. Like, hey, I own my home. I only want coverage if my home catches fire. I want it to be rebuilt. In those cases, you wouldn't be covered for the wind and the hail damage that we experienced, on Thursday.
So you really need to take a look at that policy if you still are going to get a copy of it or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're calling your insurance to file claims and they're denying it, you want to have your policy in front of you to know if it is true what they're telling you.
Right. Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Amy, thank you so much.